students. We're now talking about the computer security introduction. So, what are the main objectives of computer security? The first one is confidentiality of data, secrecy of persons, privacy, access only by authorized parties. Next is integrity, data only correctly modified or deleted by authorized parties. Next is availability, correctly accessible in timely manner. The failure to meet the goal is called the denial of service. Personal computer security. Throughout this workshop, write down all these possible ways on how your personal computer system could compromise and what are the possible vectors or attack vectors. So you just have to write down the possible ways of how your personal computer system could be compromised or be in actually in at risk or in danger. So what are the possible attack vectors or reasons? So data security. So try to make a list of possible risks that can have an impact on the security and stability of the data and internal and external information and technology services. So just make a list of recommendations to lower the risk. Eventually, what actually are the reasons why there are computer security issues? The first one is nature. Example, lightning strike, fire, flood, heat wave or cold wave, storm weather, hurricane, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic eruption, electromagnetic pulse from the sun, and disease of key employees. Another factor is evil actions by people. So this is actually being done by people. Hacking or break-in, social engineering or phishing, identity theft, vandalism, and have people employees could actually do sabotage, cyber attack, terrorism, and war. Another one is malware or malicious software. We have virus, worm, Trojan horse, rootkit, keylogger, network sniffer, backdoor and dialer, and of course spyware and ransomware. Another reason is also infrastructure of services and problems. Example, failure of software, hardware, and electricity, or the power outage or power surge. Network cable, cut or saturation. Air conditioning, water pipes, so there might be some leaks. System upgrades, service providers, or sometimes it can be overload of CPU memory or storage network. Another one is human errors. So we have the weak security, loss of laptops, smartphones, USB sticks, no encryption, password leaks or cracks, computer console left unlocked, misunderstanding computer interface or other mistakes in form of deleting data or corrupting data, and of course confiscation of machines. So tools for confidentiality. So we have the following: authorization, access policies, access control. Authentication, this is actually for identification by simply securing passwords. Encryption, virtual private networking or VPN. Another one is auditing or logging. Tools for integrity, so we have the following is backups, checksums, and antivirus. Tools for availability, we have disaster recovery planning, physical projections, anti-theft, uninterruptible power supply, redundancies, intrusion detection systems, antivirus software, and firewall. Tools for confidentiality. So we have passwords. So here are the tips. Don't share them, not even with computer administrators. Don't write them down. Don't reuse them among different sites. Change them often. Select wise, easy to remember, hard to guess, consider the password length: large set of characters, caps, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So there are some notorious password leaks. We have in 2014, we have the Gmail passwords, Adobe passwords, Twitter passwords, Apple user IDs, LinkedIn passwords, Yahoo passwords, YouPorn passwords, and then of course the Hotmail, MSN, and Live passwords. So these are the graphical presentations. So we have a biometric identification. We have fingerprint, voice print, iris scan, retinal scan. So this is much more convenient, relatively safe. The danger of biometric identification. So there would be some disadvantages. So you can't change your biometric password once it got leaked. You can't legally refuse to give it, unlike a password. So you lock your screen when you leave. So do not leave your screen open. Security issues in communication. We have privacy, integrity, authentication, and non-repudiation. Cryptography is secret writing. Okay, so we have encryption and decryption. From the plain text going to the ciphertext. So in cipher, algorithm for performing encryption or decryption. Example, we have the Caesar cipher. So we have the encryption key, or we can also use the encryption algorithm to do the encrypted message to encrypted message. So we have the following: symmetric encryption. Sender and receiver must both know the same secret key. How to exchange that key over distance. On the other hand, asymmetric encryption, sender only needs to know the public key or receiver. Public key encryption. The private key can unlock or decrypt what is locked encrypted with the public key. So example, encryption and decryption. So example of some situations. John uses Mary's public key to encrypt the email and sends it to Mary. Number two, upon receiving the email, Mary decrypts the email with her own private key. So here's the diagram. How encryption and decryption is being done in a process. Digital signature. John stamps his digital signature to the email by using his private key and then sends the email to Mary. Another one is upon receiving the email, Mary verifies the digital signature in the email with John's public key. So we have digital certificates, man in the middle attack. So example, how can Bob know that Alice's key is really Alice's key and not Mallory's? So this is actually more of identity issues being raised. So we have digital certificates. So HTTPS SSL exchange. So we have the browser. And example, we have the Amazon.com. So this is how they exchange. So avoid non-encrypted protocols. Encrypted protocols like HTTPS, FTP, SSH, TOR, VPN, WEP, WPA, WPA2. Non-encrypted protocols, we have HTTP, FTP, Telnet, BitTorrent. So we have Redphone and TextSecure. Full disk encryption. So you have to make sure you apply this also. So there should be a security key on this encryption. Android encryption is also important. Virtual drive in file container. So we have the encrypted file and then mountable as virtual drive. So we have virtual private networks or VPN. So extends a private network across a public network encrypted to protect against network sniffing. So actually to make it more private with regards to Wi-Fi connectivity, for example. So here's the diagram introduced through a VPN provider. So we have the use of firewall versus the private versus demilitarized zone. So that's the job of the firewall for security reasons. Private browsing. Of course, Bitcoin. So here's the tip. You can't trust the software if its source code is hidden. So you have to be careful. So beware of phishing attacks, especially for banks or online banking. So tools for integrity. Make a backup. Centralize over network. So make sure of the backups. Use offsite data protection. So we have full backup. Most often only incremental backup. Use of good data retention scheme. Reflect about your time for full restore. Test restore procedure. 80% of backups fail to restore. So backups is actually very important in securing your data or information. Scan for malware. So in case there are viruses in your computer, you have to make sure you have installed antivirus software. So install software from trusted sources. Avoid, if possible, P2P or web downloads. Apply software updates and upgrades. Tools for availability. Always prepare for disasters. Business continuity planning. So we have disaster recovery, preventive measures, detective measures, corrective measures. So uninterruptible power supply or UPS. So we have flywheel, diesel generators or batteries or UPS. Fault tolerance, high availability, redundancy, failover. Redundant array of independent risks or RAID. Distributed denial of service or DDoS. Okay, that's about it. Thank you very much for listening.